Right. My workout philosophy. Don't be a gym bro or a runner. So, here's the thing. You don't want to be a gym bro that has bad cardio. Like, trust me, you don't want bad cardio. This isn't good. It's not good for longevity. It's not good for your overall health. It's not good for your mindset. It's not good for jack shit. Now, you also don't wanna be a skinny neck runner. Okay? You don't wanna be a nerd. You don't wanna be a geek. You also don't wanna be a retard or a complete simpleton. And so in the light of that, this is my philosophy right now. There's a couple of things I've learned in the past year, and one of those things is that working out 6 times per week is superior to working out 3 times per week. There's a couple of reasons for this. Number one, you just end up making more gains. Of course, it's twice the volume, you make more gains. But not only is it that because you double the volume, you make more gains, it's that you might not even double the volume, it might be more like 4x the volume, triple the volume. Why? Because when you go 3 times per week, you end up missing more workouts. If working out is not something that you do every single day, okay? If you don't work out every day, you're massively increasing the odds that you'll miss a workout or that you'll skip a workout. But if you go for 6 times per week, you'll stay way more consistent because that's just a way of life. Now, from Monday to Sunday, how do you want to slot out 6 workouts? The way you want to slot out 6 workouts is this. You take Sunday for rest. Why? Why do you want to rest Sunday? Why don't you just kind of take a rest day when you feel like it? The reason why you specifically go for Sunday is because you can be consistent with it. Okay? When it comes down to this shit, consistency is extremely important. And so if you only rest on Sundays, that's it. It's like, depending on which country you live in, it's pretty much church day. Okay? And so, yeah, you just take Sunday as a rest day. And also, on top of that, it's like it's at the end of the week, so then Monday you go hard again. And so it's just kind of mentally nice, like, okay, it's Sunday. Like, usually, if you don't want to rest Sunday completely, what I do is go, like, sauna. I'm Finnish, so I might be a bit biased with this. But sauna is fucking dope. So that's something you can do on Sundays. But from Monday to Saturday, you want to be working out. And there's a couple of ways to work out. Of course, you don't want to be a gym bro. As I said, you don't want to be a runner. So you don't want to be either one. So then what do? Well, you go for the kind of hybrid thing. Of course, if you check IG, there's a lot of talk about this shit. A lot of edits. You get people like Nick Bear. But for me, this is what I found to be the best. And where I'm actually kind of the happiest with the progress I'm making. It's when I split gym and cardio 50-50. Literally. I mean, can you make more gains in the gym if you're purely focused on it? Sure. Can you make more gains on cardio if you're purely focused on it? Yes. But what I found is that overall, my enjoyment of life and how much I actually like myself goes up way more when I split these two. And so the specific workout routine I'm on right now is, in a sense, is aesthetics. And the way I go for this is I do push, pull, legs. Okay? Push, pull, legs. I've been doing push-pull legs for like a year straight, pretty much. Haven't really switched the routine around other than that I moved to actually doing incline dumbbell chest press. Okay. But so in the gym, my focus is purely on aesthetics. Why? Why aesthetics? Why not something else? Why not like strength? Like why not strength? Why not endurance? Like if you want to do martial arts. Haven't done martial arts in a while, but I mean, I don't know if you see it, you probably don't. But I got a fucking blue belt in Taekwondo. I done BJJ, so Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for like a year, couple of years back in the day. So I done some martial arts, still fucking love martial arts, just haven't really got the time for it right now. But like in the light of like that specifically, even like the fact that I've done martial arts, why then would I still not do strength? Why then would I still not do endurance? Well, here's the thing. The reason why I do aesthetics, specifically aesthetics in the gym, is for the actual ROI of it. So think about the working out you do. What is gonna give you the biggest bang for your buck? Like just 24/7 walking around and being a human being. What is gonna give you the biggest impact? The biggest boost to your life? Is it endurance? Is it strength? Or is it aesthetics? Well, strength is only relevant if you're lifting and moving something. So, if you live like an average motherfucker in a Western country, I mean, what, you're moving your laptop around? You're going to the store? I guess so strength doesn't really matter. Well, what about endurance? Again, if you're sitting a lot, they're just working. It's not gonna be endurance either, but aesthetics. Like physically, how big are your muscles? How defined are they? Okay. How defined are they? And overall your proportions. Well, that shit matters. A lot. Because now, every single time you have a conversation with another human being, this person will see your physique. Okay? Every single time you take a shower. Okay? Every single time you talk to someone, every single time you take a shower, every single time you even look at your own arms. What you will see is the physique. What you will see is aesthetics. And so, this puts the relevancy to 24/7. Now, maybe not when you're sleeping, but if you're awake, aesthetics matter. Okay? Matters for attraction. Matters for respect. Like, of course, if you're a man, which, I mean, you're watching this, so pretty much, I'll just assume that you are. Of course, you're getting stronger in the gym, like the infamous 100 kg bench, like if you bench like 250, whatever the fuck, like in pounds, I mean. This will get you the respect of guys, of course it will. But also if you're big, if you start weighing like 80 kg, 90 kg even, and you're just solid muscle, not only will you get the respect of men, but you also get massive attraction from women. Which also, this shit is gonna motivate you in the gym like a motherfucker. If you're just training for strength, you're not gonna get this positive feedback loop. Like I said, training literally will be less fun if you're training for strength just because of you not getting as much positive feedback. Now, that puts the workout focus for the gym, for the push-pull legs. I might make another video, by the way, on like exactly how I do push-pull legs, but for now we'll just kind of go through it briefly, because otherwise this video will be like 5 hours fucking long. So, this puts push-pull legs, the point of it, to aesthetics. Okay, so one component of my workout kind of philosophy is aesthetics. So I'll start on Monday with push day. Wednesday I'll do pull, and then Friday I'll do legs. And this just kind of centers the focus around aesthetics. Monday rolls around, okay, what are we focusing on? Aesthetics. And this is specifically how I go about building the aesthetics. Now, because you just don't want to be a gym bro, because you're a human being, like, you want to be able to move, you want to be able to actually do shit, and you also want to be somewhat flexible. Even if you're a man, you still want to be fucking flexible, at the very least, so that you don't just injure yourself. And so, how do I do cardio? What is the point of cardio? There are a couple of things, ways to look at it. One way to look at cardio is longevity. Now, if you're young, you probably don't give a shit about this. Okay, so it's not longevity. You might have speed, let's say how fast you can run. It might be intriguing, but that's not why I do cardio. You might have endurance. And this is where we start to really get to the meat of the matter. It's the reason why I do cardio is endurance, but it's also being able to go high output. Okay? So you want to be able to, in essence, to simplify this, I'll just talk about running. I don't actually do running, I usually just hop on the exercise bike. Because it's just simpler. But in essence, you want to be able to do a 5-kilometer run fast. But you also want to be able to do a marathon. Especially if you're a young man, okay? Let's say you want to go into the military, of course. If you're Finnish, you've done conscription, so there is that. But it's just gonna make you way more mobile, in a sense. You won't get exhausted. You can go on hikes. Like, there's a bunch of shit you can do. You can fuck harder. There is that as well, which, by the way, this shit right here is kind of a big deal for cardio. But I'll leave that at that. If you want more of this shit, I'll probably drop a course on the exact systems I used to live. So we'll see when that's live. If it's live, it's gonna be in the description. But right now I'm more focused on making a course on how to get out of a rut. And so we'll see when or if I'll even get into this shit ever. But back to the actual topic. So, you want to be able to run a 5k fast. I really like be high energy, high output. Okay, think like a police chase. Now, I'm not advising you get into one of these, but that's the idea. And then the other thing is the actual marathon. So that you're just physically capable and versatile. And I'll mention this about the gym, by the way. Like, even if you're training for aesthetics, your strength is still gonna go up and your endurance is gonna go up because you're doing like 10 to 15 reps. And so the weight's gonna go, like, you'll kind of get the benefits, you'll just be more focused on the actual, like, aesthetics thing, like Ronnie Coleman. Motherfucker is strong like a motherfucker, but still, aesthetics still won Mr. Olympia, I think. So, yeah, that kind of gives you an idea of that. But so you want to be versatile. And again, think about it. Think where that puts you as a human being. Think what that does to your confidence. If you're aesthetic, okay? If you're aesthetic, if you can do like high intensity cardio, high intensity. Like if you get into wrestling, if you ever get into a martial art, this shit is gonna be massively helpful. But if you also have good endurance, the thing is, there ain't people like this. Like, okay, so you got the Ironman athletes, you got like CrossFitters, but that's about it. Okay, then you got martial artists. But other than that, if you're aesthetic, if you build good muscle, but you're also fast, and you can do it for a long time, take a motherfucker from the street, they literally can't even begin to compare to you. They can't. Because you're just on a fucking other level. You're like, they're here on Earth, but you're doing this shit on the moon. You're on another fucking planet. Now, so if that's kind of the goal and that's kind of why we're doing this shit, now of course, like with all of this, like if you're being honest, what's the biggest driver for working out? Pretty much, if you ask me, it's women. It's literally this. Okay, goes for cardio, as I kind of explained earlier, and also for the aesthetics. Aesthetics, so for the gym. This, like if you're being honest, if it ain't this, you're probably lying to yourself, but that ain't my problem, so I'm not gonna get into it. So, how exactly do I do cardio? This is how I do cardio right now. Mind you, I might switch this at some point, but right now it's the following. So I do intervals on Tuesdays. So I do intervals, so 4 on, 3 off, and then I do that times 4. And the reason why I do this is for the kind of high intensity. So high intensity interval training, and this is really gonna like increase the fucking power, the punch, you have the max fucking output. And I thought about doing stuff like 20 on, 20 off, but this, like including this shit, just overcomplicates everything. Again, there's a reason why I do push-pull legs, because it's simple. And the same goes for this shit. So I do 4 minutes on, 3 minutes off. So 4 minutes is kind of all out. I did 3 minutes is it's zone 2, or where you feel like you can do it for a long time, but it's a bit exhausting, but you could technically do it forever. And you can't kind of talk at the same time. Maybe you gotta catch your breath a bit, but you can still do it. This is actually what I'm gonna do pretty much after recording this video. So I'll do that on Tuesdays to kind of increase my VO2 max. Whatnot. So that's for that. Then after my pull day on Wednesday, I'll do 30 minutes. And the point of this, like, there's kind of 2 options with it. You can do higher tempo, so like what someone would call a tempo run. I can either do that to kind of again increase the top end of my cardio, or I'll literally just do like really lightweight. And kind of the reason for this, and the reason why I have this 30-minute workout, it's not even this. It's quite literally for consistency. Because that puts you in your head, okay, it's gym, it's cardio, it's gym, it's cardio, it's gym, it's cardio. Because even if this doesn't really affect my actual cardio, it reminds me that, okay, every second day I do cardio. I'm a motherfucker that does cardio. And that kind of keeping of the identity throughout the week is massively helpful. And again, it helps with the consistency, because if I skip this on Thursday, it's probably gonna lead to me, well, it's gonna lead inherently to a higher probability of missing the gym or another cardio session. So it's there kind of as a filler to really keep the shit going. And right, so that's that. And then the last thing that I got is on Saturday I'll do 60 minutes. If you really want, you can even push this to 90. But this is really to kind of build the baseline cardio. So we got the top end of the engine. And this is actually kind of increasing the actual fucking size of the engine. So you take your engine from like a 1 liter to like a 2 liter to like a 5.6. And this is just gonna make your everyday life, you'll just have more energy. You'll be able to output more, you'll have more fucking, like it's gonna be easier to breathe in a fucking gym, whatnot. So, she's gonna be really helpful. So, it's aesthetics, and it's overall cardio and overall performance. And I found that this is like, I like working out like this specifically the most, because you get sweaty like by the actual cardio, and then also you get stronger in the gym, and you kind of stay aesthetic. Not to mention that you're doing so much cardio that you kind of stay lean, and you don't build as much fat. And so that's the way I've been going about it right now. Push-pull legs, I'll do the 4-3 times 4. I'll do 30 minutes, and then I'll do 60 minutes of cardio. And again, 60 minutes lightweight, light cardio zone 2, same as the 30 pretty much. And that's about it. That's how I roll with the working out. Because you'll be more aesthetic there than everyone else. You'll be able to run fast if you have to, but you'll also gonna be able to run for a long time if you have to. And that's just gonna increase the quality of life the most, in my experience. Because if you just go gym but neglect the cardio, you're gonna feel like you're lacking in the cardio department. But if you just go cardio, you're just gonna have a skinny neck. Yeah, you'll be good at running, whatnot, but because you're lacking in the gym, you're gonna feel skinny, so you're still gonna feel weak. So if you don't want to feel like a fridge, if you don't want to feel like a pencil neck, that is what you do. And this is, in my experience, the best of both worlds, and it's one of the routines that I've been able to be the most consistent with, which is, at the end of the day, probably the most important thing when it comes to working out and the way you do it. Not to mention about all the mental benefits and whatnot that you get. Alright, that's all I got for you today. I'll catch you in the next one. Out.